for an example, like I went to the Super Bowl and I heard someone yell something crazy. And it took me everything in the world to not just want to smash his face in because he said something just wow. What are you trying to do? Wait. But I just knew, like, I know, and you know, God know where we at in life and what actually went on and what I seen. I just feel like it was another test to like see where I was at.
Bobby do not take 20 minutes.
Nigga? You alright?
Alright, wait, how many?
You ain't say nothing. What you want, box?
Physically and mentally, you know, and I just walked in the game and came back out. I'm just like, okay, cool. And sometimes, like, when you see people, like, when you see things that tests you, and when you see, and you're not ready, and you're going through pain, it can put you in a messed up place. It can put you in a bad place. And right now, I'm just bottled up, and I feel like I said, I feel like it's just rocket power. It's like, with a rocket, you just hold all the energy, hold all the tears, hold all the emotion in one spot.
Quavo Marshall, born in Athens, Georgia, is the youngest child of 3 and his mother's only son. When he was 5, his father died, leaving his mother, or Mama, Edna, as the sole provider for Quavo and his older sisters, one of which being Takeoff's mother, which makes Takeoff Quavo's nephew. People close to him and even fans through music can tell he's a mama's boy. And unfortunately, in Black culture, during times of trauma with the lack of prominent male figures, mothers can often shift their responsibility onto their young sons, blurring the lines between son and provider. Even with Takeoff being only 3 years younger, he's still his nephew, creating a feeling of seniority, if you will. According to Edna, about a year after Quavo's father's passing, a portion of their Athens home burned down due to an accident when his sister left fries on the stove. And so, because of this, when he was about 12 or 13, they moved from Athens to Gwinnett County, Georgia, to make ends meet, the city of Lawrenceville to be exact, which is a northern suburb outside the city of Atlanta. They stayed in subsidized housing. At 14, Quavo ended up in juvie for 2 weeks after him and friends jumped a kid outside of school, introducing him to his first brush-in with the law. But after, he dove into his 2 passions, music and football. He put his leadership skills to the test. He was an amazing quarterback. But Edna struggled to afford his participation, and his grades weren't good enough to keep him playing consistently. He dropped out of high school with 1 semester remaining, claiming he was tired of school and that he wasn't getting anything from it. Now, on the music side, Takeoff loved music, and that's how he got his nickname, Takeoff, because he was able to finish his verse in just 1 take, and he was living with them on and off during these years. And he was able to recruit Quavo to record with him, and with a sock-covered microphone from Walmart, Windows Movie Maker, they put out their first mixtape as a duo. They got the attention of Offset, and the rest was history.
We family. They're my nephew.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many years are y'all apart?
I'm 22. He 18.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that family now, I've been knowing him since 6th grade. Been knowing him since 6th grade. So we just always ran together.
Their group name was Polo Club at first, but after aggressive promotion themselves and crazy footwork in the clubs, DJs were persuaded to play them, switching the name from Polo Club to Migos. Now, this deep dive wasn't created for the group as a collective, but to break down Quavo as the man and artist and the volatile path he's on while finding himself. The first incident I can recall was in 2014, 11 years ago, with Chief Keef and GBE. In November 2014, after the Migos performed in Washington, D.C., a fight broke out, leading to Quavo getting his chain snatched.
The Migos out here fighting this shit? Not Quavo! Not Takeoff! No! Migos fighting this shit? This some bullshit. This some ratchet shit. I ain't coming back. We ain't coming back to sit.
To troll, Chief Keef posted a picture of the chain, and Quavo responded with the song The Truth, ultimately explaining the incident. In the song, he claims because he was the last one out of the venue, they took the opportunity to snatch the chain and flee. He even referenced the chorus and incident in an online skit.
Migos, thank you guys for coming on Fashion Bros. We're closing 2014 right. We're going into 2015. We got 2016 already wrapped up.
Boy, don't play with me. Little boy. Come on with that, man. Come on. Where you thought you was going, man?
After mocking the incident and multiple tweets later, they were all pictured together, seemingly squashing the beef. But since then, they stayed in headlines in courtrooms for countless brawls and fights. At first, I figured it was a group problem, maybe on some if one swing, we all swing type. But it wasn't until the Joe Budden situation that I leaned toward Quavo being the possible aggressor. Now, this viral clip has been shown around multiple times, but I just want to point out what I saw and what I observed. Now, notice, Takeoff was seemingly shaded. He was the butt of the jokes, saying that he was left off bad and bougie. But he responded with class, and he said, "Do it look like I've been left off bad and bougie?" Now, Ack tried to act as if he didn't know what he was saying, but it was Joe Budden who proved to be pressed by storming off. Instead of leaving at that, they already had the upper hand. It wasn't until Quavo spoke and stood up that Offset and Takeoff did the same. To play this back in slow-mo, these are all grown men and they can act on their own accord. But if they do move on a brotherhood, notice that Quavo stood up first, causing Offset to stand up, which made Takeoff stand up. If Quavo would not have stood up, they would not have stood up, and this would not have turned into the situation that it turned into. Joe Budden is always sassy. Quavo showed his sassy side with Nicki, though. Cardi and Nicki's beef was ignited, and the song Motorsport was used as fuel. Fans speculated when Nicki found out that Cardi was on the song that she no longer wanted to be on it, especially after seeing that they appeared separately in the music video. Nicki claims that they appeared separately due to schedules conflict. She claims that Quavo was the cause. And she also reached out to Quavo to clear this rumor, but he refused.
So I texted Quavo and I said, hey, just, could you back me up on this? Because, I don't want people to think I'm lying. What do I have to lie about? And he didn't back me up. And, he texted me. He was like, I would go on Twitter and back you up if you were my girl. LOL. And that hurt because he's somebody, I love him,
Although rumors speculated they were dating and shots were fired both ways, he showed his lack of defense towards women and his escalating behavior.
Exclusive video of a rapper appearing to fight with a valet on the Strip. That valet is suing rapper Quavo, whose real name is Quavavius Marshall, for this 2018 incident outside the Encore.
Marshall's lawyer had said Henry was not injured and was instead in a pursuit of what he called a hip-hop lotto ticket. The jury disagreed and ordered that payout happen today. Police issued Quavo a citation.
In 2018, Quavo slapped a valet driver that worked at Encore in Las Vegas, and he was fined $700,000. A pattern was beginning to show of Quavo allowing his anger to consume him in high-tension instances, almost as if forgetting what he had to lose. In 2021, after a 3-year relationship, the viral elevator incident split men and women since it was released after their breakup. Many sided with Quavo, mentioning the 1 of 3 custom Call of Duty case she seemingly swiped. But decent human beings noticed the red flag in his aggression with her. He didn't simply grab the suitcase from her, but instead swung her into the ground, standing over her as she assessed her injury. He only initiated contact when another individual made themselves present. His mom and the women in his family, of course, defended his behavior, coddling him even after he taunted her about it in his music video, Messy, showing no remorse. But the next year would bring the ultimate heartbreak. After 1 a.m. on November 1st, 2022, a private party in downtown Houston ended, but spilled over outside, where a dice game pursued. An argument ensued, and shots were fired from at least 2 weapons at 2:40 a.m., and rapper Takeoff was pronounced dead at the scene. Videos began to circulate showing Quavo appeared to be speaking intensely, as Takeoff was, of course, close by. You can hear Quavo say, "Man, let's go. I ain't finna," shortly before the shots began.
they want it. Basketball, bro. You just play basketball. You just saw me play basketball. Y'all niggas just in the gym. Play like that, bro. Don't play like that, bro. Hey, let go. I ain't finna sit.
I recently lost someone very close to me in a similar fashion, but I was not present. I cannot imagine the pain of witnessing something so senseless and horrific to family, let alone the scenes that I'm sure play in his head and scenarios and what ifs every night and every day. So to blame him would be cruel, but people have. Since then, Quavo appeared to change for the better, more vulnerable and raw, advocating for gun change.
The way, it will continue to be a problem.
Quavo witnessed the shooting that killed Takeoff, his nephew and fellow member of the rap group Migos in 2022. He says the pain doesn't go away.
When I saw him laying there, I felt like I saw me laying there.
That experience inspired the first ever Rocket Foundation Summit, a gathering of those affected by gun violence who want to inspire change.
We got all y'all in here that actually had the same experience as I have. And it's just, like, once again, like, me being on this stage is very, very tough for me.
Tough, but powerful.
And Quavo, you did one of the bravest things with your family by coming to Washington and advocating for change.
But the next year, he was in the news once again for all the wrong reasons.
Rapper Quavo that was aboard this yacht, and it's right here outside of the wharf, Miami, where officers boarded that vessel. Well, today I spoke with the boat's owner, who tells me it was his captain who was robbed at gunpoint. Newly obtained cell phone video shows the moments Quavius Marshall, better known as rapper Quavo, was detained by police who responded to a possible armed robbery on the Miami River near the wharf Sunday night. In the video, you can see him with his hands tie-strapped behind his back as officers questioned him and other passengers aboard. I spoke with the yacht owner off camera who recorded these videos of the group between 13 and 17 people who he said chartered his yacht. He told me when the rental time expired and it came time to end the charter and return the vessel, the group became upset and two men aboard held his captain at gunpoint, threatened to kill him, and took back more than $8,000 they initially paid for the charter. Investigators with Miami Beach police say the large group, along with rapper Quavo, denied a robbery ever happened, but said there was a disagreement about rental hours and even showed officers text messages that show receipts for the rental via Cash App. Ultimately, Miami Beach police said due to conflicting information investigators received by crew members, everyone was released and no arrests were made.
In the end, Quavo wanted to be in the position to beat the odds and feed his family, and he did that. But his constant quest for more and ego to do it by any means has and continues to cost him. He has to answer, who is Quavo outside of the Migos? Musically, he's gone country with Teddy Swims and Luke Bryant, and he's gone pop with Lana Del Rey. But can he make a way without Takeoff? Deeper question, who is Quavo the man without his nephew, without having to provide for his mom? All I can do is continue to pray for Quavo on this journey. And men, take care of yourselves in general. Last but not least, rest in peace to Takeoff.